Hello students, so far we have learned about the different trigonometric ratios and their relationship with each other. Now we come to an important part in trigonometry, that is knowing a table of trigonometry, knowing what is sine of different angles. We have to learn in our class 10 about 6 different angles, that is 0 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees and 90 degrees, and we need to know the sine, cos, tan, cot, sec and cosec of each of these angles. Now, not to worry, it looks quite daunting, it looks difficult to remember this table, but it is not so difficult. We'll make it easier in this video, so keep watching as we fill up these columns, these rows. We'll make this table first and then we'll learn how to memorize or make this table easy so that we can apply them to solve various trigonometric problems. So let us begin first with solving the 45 degree column, that is we will find out sine 45, cos 45, tan 45, cot 45, sec 45 and cosec 45 degrees first. For that, what I'll do is I will first write down what we have known first, that is we have learnt about Pandit Badri Prasad Har Har Bole, and P stands for perpendicular, B for base and H for hypotenuse, right? And similarly, using this Pandit Badri Prasad Har Har Bole, we were able to find out what is sine, cos, tan, cot, sec and cosec, right? So we were able to find. Now theta, as has been mentioned in the previous videos, is the angle. Now in place of theta we will be replacing it with 0, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees and 90 degrees. For now I'll just keep it in the general form: sine theta, cos theta, tan theta, cot theta, sec theta and cosec theta. And from our Pandit Badri Prasad we will derive what is sine, cos, tan, cot, sec theta and cosec theta, the general one. And then we will go to find out what is 0 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees and 90 degrees. So from Pandit Badri Prasad we come to know that P upon H, going downwards from top to down, is our sine theta. So P upon H gives us sine theta. Then B upon H gives us cos theta. So we have B upon H, cos theta. We are moving from top to bottom. Similarly, we have P upon B, which is our tan theta. So P upon B we write as tan theta. Now cot theta is just the reverse of tan theta, and we move from bottom to top. So B upon P gives us cot theta. Similarly, sec theta is the opposite of cos theta, and so H upon B gives us sec theta, H upon B. Finally we come to cosec theta, which is the opposite of sine theta, hence we get H upon P. So these were our 6 trigonometric ratios that we learned previously. Now we need to find out 45 degrees. For that, what I'll do is I'll draw a small triangle this way. This is 90 degrees and this will be our 45 degrees, and I'll mark this as A, B and C, and BC, the length of it, I'll mark it as X. And because this is 45 degrees and this is 90 degrees, this has got to be 45 degrees, because we know from the triangle property, that is the sum of all angles of a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. So if we have angle B as 90 degrees and angle C as 45 degrees, and we know the sum total is 180 degrees, then we should easily be able to get angle A. So if we add this and then take it on the other side and subtract it from 180, we should get angle A equal to 45 degrees. So now we know that angle A is 45 degrees and angle C is 45 degrees. These two angles are equal. So when two angles in a triangle are equal, it suggests that that is an isosceles triangle. What is an isosceles triangle? In an isosceles triangle, two angles are equal or two sides are equal. But when there are two angles are equal, we can easily say that the sides opposite to them are also equal, which means that AB is equal to BC, and we have assumed BC is equal to X. So we also can say AB is equal to X. Now we need to find out what is AC. Why do we need to find out what is AC? See, we are dealing with perpendicular perpendicular hypotenuse and base. So this is our hypotenuse. You see, why is it hypotenuse? Because it is the side opposite to the right angle. This is our base. BC is our base, and AB becomes our perpendicular. So we know our perpendicular is X, we know our base is X, but we do not know what is hypotenuse. In that case, how do we find out what is an hypotenuse? This is a right angle triangle, which means we can apply the Pythagoras theorem. And what does the Pythagoras theorem say? Pythagoras theorem says that the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the square of the perpendicular and the base. So h square is equal to p square plus b square. H square we need to find out h square. We need to find out h actually. We do not know that, but we know what is p. P is x, so we x of x square plus x square will get, because base is also x. X square plus x square gives us 2x square. Now we need to find out h, not h square. So what we do is square root on both sides. So we have square root of h square and square root of 2x square. This should give us square root of h square gives us h, and square root of 2x square will give us root 2x. Root 2x, why? Because square root of x square is x. So we can take it out of the square root sign or hood, and only square root 2 will remain. So we get h equal to square root 2x. So I write over here square root 2x. Now that we have got h, p and b, that is our base, we can use that in our trigonometric ratios, the general trigonometric ratios, to deduce or to find what is sine, cos, tan, cot, sec and cosec of 45 degrees. Let's do that. So sine of 45 degrees, whenever we have to find out sine of any angle, we need to use what Pandit Badri Prasad tells us, that is sine is nothing but p upon h. See, sine of any angle, okay, will always remain p upon h. What changes is what is the value of p and what is the value of h. That will decide what the sine of that particular angle is. Right now we focus on sine of 45 degrees. So sine of 45 degrees is p upon h, and p over here is x from our figure. What is h? H is hypotenuse, which is root 2x, which we just found out. X and x cancel and we are left with 1 upon root 2, which means sine 45 degrees is equal to 1 upon root 2. So we can write over here 1 upon root 2. Similarly, we will find out what is cos 45 degrees. Now cos 45 degrees, let's look at what is cos theta. Cos theta is b upon h. So we write over here b upon h. What is your base in this figure? Base is x. So what is h, that is hypotenuse? It is root 2 upon x. So once again x will cancel and we are left with 1 upon root 2 once again. So both sine of 45 and cos of 45 degrees is 1 upon root 2. What about tan 45? What do we get with tan 45? Tan 45 is nothing but p upon b. P is perpendicular and b is base. What is p? X. What is b? Also x. X and x cancel, we are left with 1. So we can write over here 1. See, tan of any angle is equal to sine upon cos. We have learned that in our formulas. So tan of 45 degrees can also be written as sine of 45 degrees upon cos of 45 degrees. We know from here sine of 45 degrees is 1 upon root 2 and cos of 45 is also 1 upon root 2. When these cancel, we get 1. So this is another way of getting tan 45 if you know what is sine 45 and cos 45. Anyways, we have got it from Pandit Badri Prasad. Now that we have got sine, cos and tan of 45 degrees, it is easier to find out cot, sec and cosec without actually trying to do all this. How do we do that? We know that cot is opposite of tan. It's actually a reciprocal. We know from our previous formula that tan theta is equal to 1 upon cot theta, or cot theta is equal to 1 upon tan theta. So similarly, it is the opposite. So similarly we can take, so if tan is 1, tan is 1, which means that tan is nothing but 1 upon 1. If we take the reciprocal, that means we bring the denominator to the numerator and bring the numerator down to the denominator, we will still get 1 upon 1. We don't write 1 upon 1, we just write it as 1. So that means cot of 45 degrees is also 1. What about sec of 45 degrees? So sec of 45 degrees is the opposite of cos. Have a look over here. Okay, Pandit Badri Prasad Har Bole tells us that sec is the opposite of cos. So if cos is 1 upon root 2, that means sec will be the opposite of that, which means, or the reciprocal of that, which means root 2 from the denominator goes to the numerator, and that means sec will become root 2 upon 1, which we can write it as just root 2. Similarly, sine, which is also 1 upon root 2, same as cos of 1 upon root 2, will give root 2 for cosec. Cosec is the opposite of sine. Now this way we have managed to get sine, cos, tan, cot, sec and cosec of 45 degrees. And have a look, it is important to find out sine, cos and tan of any angle. Once you know the sine, in fact it's just important to know sine and cos. If you know sine and cos, you can find out tan. And once you know sine, cos and tan, you can easily get cot, sec and cosec, knowing that they are opposites of the first three. Tan you can easily find out because tan is equal to sine upon cos. Sine upon cos gives us tan. So it is enough to know sine and cos. But we'll learn about how to memorize this table or how to make this table easier for us to apply for problems later on in this video. For now we'll just find out what are the different values of different angles and different trigonometric ratios. So we have found out sine 45. Let's move next to sine 60 degrees and 30 degrees. We'll find them together. To find out sine 60, I'll draw another triangle. It will be an equilateral triangle. And what is an equilateral triangle? In an equilateral triangle, all three sides of a triangle are equal and all three angles of a triangle are also equal, which means this has got to be 60 degrees, this will be 60 degrees and this has also got to be 60 degrees, right? And we'll take the length of BC as 2a. Similarly, if we take BC as 2a, that means all the sides of a triangle also got to be 2a each. Then what I'll do is I will draw a perpendicular bisector from A joining BC at D, okay, which means this is now our perpendicular, but it also bisects angle A into two equal parts. That means the angle is divided into two equal angles, and if this entire angle is 60 degrees and we divide it into equal angles, that means this BAD, this part will become 30 degrees. So now we've got 30 degrees, 60 degrees and 90 degrees. The sum of this triangle should become 180 degrees. So if we add up 90 plus 60 plus 30, that will give us 180 degrees. I'm referring to triangle ABD over here. Now also this line AD, okay, also bisects or divides this BC into equal parts, which means this entire part BC was 2A. Now that it is divided into two equal parts, BD will become A and DC will become A. We are interested only in BD, okay, and we are interested in AD and AB. So now if we take 60 degrees, we'll start with 60 degrees first. So we need to find out the sine of 60 degrees. Before we start to find out the sine of 60 degrees, we'll first fix our perpendicular base and hypotenuse. So sine 60 degrees is here. This AB has got to be our hypotenuse because it is the side opposite to the right angle. Always the side opposite to the right angle becomes our hypotenuse. Next, the angle opposite to the one in question over here becomes our perpendicular. So that is AD. AD will become our perpendicular in case of 60 degrees. And if that is our perpendicular, then the side adjacent to 60 degrees will become our base. That is BD will become our base. Okay. So now we know that perpendicular, we do not know how much it is. We know the base BD is equal to A, and we know our hypotenuse is 2A. So we need to find out what is our perpendicular. So once again we will use Pythagoras theorem. And what does Pythagoras theorem say? The square of the hypotenuse is equal to the square of the perpendicular plus the square of the base. We need to find the perpendicular. So what I'll do is I'll take the base square on the other side of the equal to sign, and when I do so, the sign changes from positive to negative, and we get p square equal to h square minus b square. So instead of keeping everything on the left hand side, I left the unknown on the left hand side and the known on the right hand side. These are known quantities. We know what is the hypotenuse and base. So let us substitute. Hypotenuse is 2a, so 2a whole square minus b square. B is a, so we can write it this as a square. P square equal to 2a whole square gives us 4a square minus a square. That will give us p square equal to 3a square. Now we need to find out p. We are interested in p. So square root of p square is equal to square root of 3a square. Square root of p square gives us p. Square root of 3a square will give us root 3a, because square root of a square is a and root 3 remains the way it is. So p is root 3a in case of 60 degrees, and I write it over here. Now that we have got the three sides or the value of the three sides, let us find out what is sine 60 degrees. Once again we use Pandit Badri Prasad Har Har Bole and the values that we have got it from this mantra. So sine theta is p upon h. So p upon h, what is p? P is root 3a and hypotenuse is 2a. Okay. So I'll make a note over here where I put a question mark. P is root 3a. This will help us. B is a and hypotenuse is 2a. A and a cancel and we are left with root 3 upon 2. So sine 60 degrees is root 3 upon 2. Let's find out cos 60 degrees. Cos 60 degrees. Cos theta is b upon h. So we write this as b upon h. What is our b? It is a. What is our hypotenuse? It is 2a. A and a cancels. We are left with half. So we write cos 60 degrees equal to half. Next we will find out about tan of 60 degrees. Tan of 60 degrees. So tan theta is p upon b. We write p upon b. What is perpendicular? Perpendicular is root 3a and base is just a. A and a cancel and we are left with root 3. It's actually root 3 upon 1. Root 3 upon 1 is same as root 3. There you go. So now we have sine 60 degrees, cos 60 degrees and tan 60 degrees. Now that we know these three values, we can easily find out what is cot. Cot has got to be opposite of tan or the reciprocal of tan. If this is root 3 upon 1, then cot has to be 1 upon root 3. As I said, this is root 3 upon 1, which means in case of cot, the denominator becomes the numerator and the numerator becomes the denominator in case of cot. Similarly, sec is the opposite of cos. Cos is half, which means sec should become 2. 2 upon 1, which is 2. Cosec is opposite of sec. Opposite of sine. Sine is root 3 upon 2. So cosec of 60 degrees will become 2 upon root 3. This is the way we get the values of 60 degrees. Now we shall go to find the values of 30 degrees, that is sine 30, cos 30, tan 30, cot 30, sec 30 and cosec 30. So what I'll do is I'll erase this and I'll leave the triangle the way it is. So if you have noticed, I've erased all the parts which we got from 60 degrees. Now we are looking at 30 degrees. If you look at 30 degrees is here, which means that if the hypotenuse will remain the same, but the perpendicular and base will interchange. Why will it interchange? Have a look. The side adjacent to 30 degrees is now AD, which was the perpendicular in case of 60 degrees. So now AD becomes the base. So we'll write over here our base is root 3a. Our hypotenuse remains 2a and our our perpendicular will now be a. So the side opposite to the angle in question becomes our perpendicular, as I said, and that is BD. BD now becomes our new perpendicular and the value of that is a. So it's just interchanging. Okay, what was perpendicular before is now become base, and what was base before in case of 60 degrees is now become perpendicular in case of 30 degrees. So let us find out what is sine 30 degrees, cos 30 degrees, tan 30 degrees. So sine 30 degrees is P upon H. What is P? P now is A, and hypotenuse is 2a. A and A cancel and we are left with half. That means sine 30 degrees is half. What is cos 30 degrees? Cos 30 degrees is B upon H, base upon hypotenuse. So cos 30 degrees, what is base? It's root 3 upon A, and hypotenuse is 2a. So A and A cancel, we are left with root 3 upon 2. That means cos 30 is root 3 upon 2. Next we come to tan 30. Tan 30 is P upon B. Tan 30 is P upon B. What is perpendicular? Perpendicular is just A. And what is base? Base is root 3 upon A. A and A cancel, we are left with 1 upon root 3. So we write over here 1 upon root 3. Now we go to find out cot, sec and cosec. Now cot is opposite of tan. So in case of tan, what is the denominator? Root 3. Now that will become our numerator. And our denominator will be, our numerator from tan will become the denominator. So it is actually root 3 upon 1 for cot 30 degrees. We just write it as root 3. Sec is the opposite of cos. Cos is what? Root 3 upon 2, which means sec will become 2 upon root 3. Cosec is opposite of sine. Sine is half. That means cosec will become 2 upon 1, which is 2. Now, the important part to analyze and reflect on is comparing 30 degrees and 60 degrees. Sine of 30 degrees is half, but cos of 60 degrees is also half. Sine of 60 degrees is root 3 upon 2, but cos of 30 degrees is root 3 upon 2. You see, these are opposites, half, half, root 3 upon 2, root 3 upon 2. Similarly, look at tan. Tan of 30 degrees is 1 upon root 3. Okay, but cot of 60 degrees is also 1 upon root 3. Tan, similarly, tan of 60 degrees is root 3 and cot of 30 degrees is root 3. You see, they are opposites. They are opposites of each other. And why are they opposites of each other? Because in this case, the hypotenuse remained the same, but what was the base before became the perpendicular, and what was the perpendicular before became the base later on when the angle switched from 60 degrees to 30 degrees. And that is why you see these are more like mirror images of each other with respect to their trigonometric ratios. So we have 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees. Next we need to find 0 degrees and 90 degrees. So first we'll go to find out 0 degrees. Once we have found out 0 degrees, it will be easier for us to understand and find out what is 90 degrees. Coming to 0 degrees, now I have drawn these 4 triangles. I hope I try to be as clear as possible with these triangles, and I hope you can see these 4 triangles at your left hand side screen. So I just took this 45 degrees over here to show you. So if this is 45 degrees, then this has got to be 45 degrees because this is 90 degrees, right? So we had assumed this as x, which means any value x, and if this is x, this base is x, then the perpendicular also has got to be of the same value because it's an isosceles triangle. So now in this case we will not assume it as x, but we will assume this as just 1. Okay, value is 1 over here. Now but the important part over here is to follow this triangle and forget about the isosceles triangle. We'll just take this base as 1 over here and we'll see what happens. See, in the next triangle, if you see, what happens is this hypotenuse keeps coming down. It has come down. This dotted line show you where it was before, and this firm line, this strong line shows you where the hypotenuse has now reached compared to the original triangle. Second one shows you that the hypotenuse has come right down. Okay, and the third one doesn't show you where the hypotenuse is because the hypotenuse has now merged with the base. The hypotenuse has become the same as the base, as a result of which your hypotenuse is become equal to the base. Okay, then where is your perpendicular gone? Have a look. The perpendicular, which was this much in case of the first triangle, got reduced to only this much. Okay, this was your perpendicular. In the next triangle, as the angle became smaller and smaller, the perpendicular also became smaller. Finally, there was no perpendicular left, which means the perpendicular is 0. And if h is equal to b and b is equal to 1, which means h is also equal to 1, which means our h and b are both equal to 1 and perpendicular is 0. Now we need to use this to find out sine 0. What is sine 0 degrees? It is p upon h. So we write down over here p upon h. What is p? P is 0. H is hypotenuse, which is 1. 0 upon anything is always 0. So sine of 0 is, not theta, this is sine of 0. Sine of 0 degrees is 0. What is cos 0 degrees? So cos 0 degrees is b upon h. So we write upon here b upon h. What is b? B is 1. What is your hypotenuse? It is 1. So cos of 0 degrees is equal to 1. Okay. What is 10 degrees then? So 10 0 degrees. 10 0 degrees is 10 is p upon b. So we write 10 0 degrees p upon b. P is what? 0. And what is b? It is 1. 0 upon anything is 0. So which means 10 of 0 is also 0. Now we need to find out cot, sec and cosec. We have said cot is opposite of 10. If 10 is 0 degrees is 0 upon 1, that means cot has to be the reciprocal of it. That means 1 upon 0. But cot of 0 degrees, which is 1 upon 0, has no value. We call it not defined and we just write it as ND. So we write cot of 0 as not defined. What is sec of 0? Sec of 0 is opposite of cos. Cos is 1, which means it is 1 upon 1. Hence sec also got to be 1. So sec of 0 degrees is also 1. What is cosec? Sine of 0 degrees is 0 and cosec we know is opposite of sine. So if sine of 0 degrees is 0 upon 1, that means cosec has got to of 0 degrees has got to be 1 upon 0, which is nothing but not defined. So cosec of 0 degrees is also not defined, just like cot of 0 degrees. So have a look how we have found out sine 0 degrees. So everything of 0 degrees, sine 0 degrees, cos 0 degrees, tan 0 degrees, cot 0 degrees, sec 0 degrees, and cosec 0 degrees. So next we come to 90 degrees, our last degree. So if this is 45 degrees and if we want to make it 90 degrees, then we need to take this angle closer and closer to this 90 degrees over here, and that is what is shown in this case, this triangle. And in trying to do so, the base decreases over here. There the height, the perpendicular were decreasing, here the base. So if the base, if we take our hypotenuse, okay, or if we take our perpendicular as 1 over here, then have a look, this will remain 1, but the base keeps shrinking. Okay, the base keeps shrinking as the angle keeps moving closer and closer to the perpendicular. The base keeps shrinking, and finally the base is gone. This is showing where the original triangle was, the dotted lines. Now you cannot distinguish the hypotenuse from the perpendicular because they have merged together, which means hypotenuse is become equal to the perpendicular. And if we have taken perpendicular as 1, that means our hypotenuse is also become as 1. What happens to the base? Base has gone, which means it has become 0. In our previous case for sine 0 degrees, what had happened was the perpendicular was kept shrinking so much so that perpendicular became 0 and hypotenuse merged with the base and they became 1. Now that we have got perpendicular equal to 1, hypotenuse equal to 1, and base equal to 0, let us find out what is sine 90 degrees. Sine 90 degrees is P upon H. What is P? 1. What is hypotenuse? 1, which means sine of 90 degrees is 1. What is cos of 90 degrees? Cos of 90 degrees is B upon H. What is B? B is 0. Hypotenuse is 1, which means 0 upon anything is always 0. So cos of 90 degrees is 0. What is tan of 90 degrees? Tan of 90 degrees is P upon B. P is 1. B is 0. 1 upon 0 is not defined. So we can write over here as not defined. Now we can easily find out cot. Now if tan is 1 upon 0, then cot 90 degrees has to be its reciprocal, which means 0 upon 1, which is 0. Sec is what? Opposite of cos. Cos was 0 upon 1, which means sec should of 90 degrees should be 1 upon 0, which is not defined. So we write over here as not defined. Cosec. Cosec of 90 degrees is opposite of sine of 90 degrees, and sine of 90 degrees is 1, which means 1 upon 1. It means cosec 90 degrees has also got to be 1. And in this way we complete the entire trigonometric table, the table which is used extensively to solve various problems, applications, word problems of trigonometry. Now the important part is, how do we memorize a big table like this? We don't have to memorize this entire table. All we need to remember is sine of each and every angle. If we can remember that, wonderful. Then the rest becomes very, very easy. I'll show you how. Sine of 0 degrees is 0. Just remember this, sine of 0 is 0. Lowest is 0, highest is 90 degrees. That means the value will always range from 0 to 1. Remember half, 1 upon root 2, root 3 upon 2. These are all values which, if you find out, are less than 1. Got it? These are all values which are less than 1. So the value always ranges of sine from 0 to 1. So remember, sine will always vary from 0 to 1. So from 0 to 1. So root 3 upon 2 is also less than 1 and not more than 1. All these values, half is less than 1, 1 upon root 2 is also less than 1. So it always ranges from 0 to 1. So if sine 0 is 0, sine 90 has got to be 1, because we said it is minimum is 0, maximum is 1. So our maximum angle is what? 90 degrees. Minimum angle is what? 0 degrees. So 0 and 1. What happens to in between? So then it ranges, then it goes from half. From half it goes to 1 upon root 2. And from 1 upon root 2 it goes to root 3 upon 2. This is what we need to remember. Why do we need to remember only sine and not the rest? I'll show you. Okay, now that we have remembered sine 0, sine 30, sine 45, sine 61, okay, and remember this values are in increasing. If you actually go to find out these values will be in increasing order leading up to 1, but not greater than 1 and not equal to 1. Okay, the highest value is 1. So now we have 0, half, 1 upon root 2, root 3 upon 2 and 1. Cos is the exact opposite of sine leading from this. So we have started from 0, half, 1 upon root 2, root 3 upon 2 and 1. Now to start cos of 0 degrees, we begin with this value. Okay, whatever the last value was becomes the first value of cos, and it goes in the reverse fashion. Okay, so you have here 1, that 1 comes here, then you have root 3 upon 2 that comes here, then you have 1 upon root 2 which will merge with 45 degrees of both. Okay, then it goes here, it keeps going to the left. Okay, then 1 upon 2, your 1 upon 2 comes here 60 degrees, and finally when you come to the last value 0, that is 0 of cos 90 degrees. You're getting it? See, it started with 0, half, 1 upon root 2, root 3 upon 2 and 1. For cos, it starts from here. Okay, only thing it doesn't come here, it comes over here, cos of 0 degrees. So cos of 0 degrees will be 1, cos of 30 degrees will be root 3 upon 2, cos of 45 degrees will be 1 upon root 2, cos of 30 degrees will be half, and cos of 0 will be 0. Sorry, cos of 90 degrees will be 0. Okay, now that you have got sine and cos, it is very easy to find tan, because sine upon cos gives us 10. So 0 upon 1 is 0. Half upon root upon 3 2 gives us 1 upon root 3. 1 upon root 2 upon 1 upon root 2 cancels and gives us 1. Root 3 upon 2 upon 1 upon root 2, 1 upon 2 gives us root 3, and 1 upon 0 gives us not defined. Once we have found sine, cos and tan, cot, sec and cosec are just the opposites of the first three, and in this way we can wrap up the entire table and remember them. So it is about finding the relationship between different angles and different trigonometric ratios. If we can find their relationships, okay, by simple mathematics, then we do not have to memorize the number of formulas we have learned so far and the number of values that we have learned in this table. See, there are how many values? 1 2 3 4 5 6, and we have 1 2 3 4 5. So we have a total of 30 values. Now it is difficult to remember 30 values for all. That is why it is important to just remember 5. You just have to remember 5. If you can remember 5, you will get the remaining 25. So we have how many? 1 2 3 4 5 6 trigonometric ratios, and we have got 5 angles, which gives us a total number of values as 30. Okay, so this is all about the basics of trigonometry and the trigonometric table, which we will soon go to apply and solve various trigonometric problems. Okay, so nothing to worry about it. Just remember Pandit Badri Prasad Har Har Bole. Remember the regular hexagon which we have been drawing. That should allow us to find the various relationship between trigonometric ratios, and remember how to get this particular table. If you are not going to find out using the triangle, just at least remember sine of first. Remember, it begins from 0, ends with 1, then it over here it has to go from 0 to half, half to 1 upon root 2, and then the root sign goes on top, root 3 upon 2, and finally 1. And once you have this, again for cos, it begins from where it ended at sine, from 1, root 3 upon 2, 1 upon root 2, half, and 0, it will end there. And once you've got sine upon cos, sorry, once you've got sine and cos, you can easily find 10, because 10 is nothing but sine upon cos. Once you've got sine, cos and 10, you can easily get their reciprocals to get cot, sec and cosec, and this way you will be able to master the trigonometric table. So if you have liked this video, please click the like button, share it with your friends and classmates. Please subscribe to the channel and do not forget to click on the bell icon to receive notification when a new video is posted. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.